How to soothe and calm a crying baby. Stop your little one's tears straight away with these practical tips from mums and experts. 1. A friend told me to rub my daughter's forehead gently, particularly between her eyes, very slowly and lightly when she was crying. It seemed to really relax her and I would gradually see her eyes start to close. 2. Gentle rocking and walking while speaking softly works for me. Sometimes changing to a quieter, darker room helps. 3. The best way to soothe my daughter was to rock her while speaking to her in a low, gentle voice. Lightly tapping her bottom and back also helped. I think it may have reminded her of my heartbeat. 4. If the room's noisy, people are trying to get your baby's attention or music boxes are playing, and your baby turns her head away and cries, she may be trying to find some peace. If that's the case, it's time for a quiet, dark room and peaceful cuddles. 5. My baby's soothed by slow, rhythmic patting on her nappy. 6. Get dad to help out and give yourself a break. With his extra body warmth, strong arms and deeper voice, many mums say that dad is king when it comes to soothing. 7. I always kept a bottle of cooled boiled water to give to my son when he had wind. It seemed to help with his pain. 8. The main reasons a new baby will cry are because he's hungry or overtired. Try a feed and then cuddle him and sing. Try swaddling if your baby's still small enough and put him in his cot. If your baby's very upset, lay him on his tummy across your lower arm turned upwards and rub his back. 9. Young babies seem to want the safety of the womb back, and appear to have an inbuilt alarm system that's triggered if you put them down. Warm, cuddling, rocking arms can simulate the womb, as can swaddling, sucking and background noise. Being placed on a still, cool and silent firm surface can signal danger. 10. Pop a piece of your clothing into the baby's crib. Your familiar smell will help to comfort him. 11. Ask yourself if your crying baby needs a change of scene. It's good for both you and your baby to get out and about. Babies love the fresh air and it can help them settle easier at night as well. 12. Try a foot massage. Cradle your baby's foot in one hand and rotate the thumb of your other hand in an anti-clockwise spiral in the center of your baby's sole. Try running your thumb from big toe to heel several times. This is reassuring, settling and great for overtiredness. 13. I sit in a chair and sway for a couple of minutes, then walk around before sitting and swaying again. 14. A baby's generally most comfortable in an environment that has a constant temperature of around 18 degrees Celsius. Anything between 16 degrees Celsius and 23 degrees Celsius is suitable, as long as the bedding and baby clothes are in keeping with the temperature. 15. Keeping calm and peaceful while your baby's crying is a big help. They can sense if you are tense and that makes it worse. So, by staying calm and relaxed, however hard that may be, you are helping them a lot. 16. My son had colic and cried every night for months. We found lots of ways to soothe him. One was using an exercise ball to bounce on while holding him and making shish sounds. 17. Distracting my little one with peek-a-boo worked wonders for me. 18. Stroking my son's hair, giving him his fave teddy, and doing the same to the teddy. Sounds strange but it worked for me. 19. Try using a soft toy or rattle to distract your little one from the tears. 20. Keep reassuring them. I would tell Kenneth that I was not going anywhere, and he calmed down quicker. 21. Turning down the lights can really help. It creates a soothing, soft environment, which calms my son down when he's crying. 22. When Poppy cries it usually means she's hungry or she's tired. If she's tired we rock her to sleep and then sigh with relief as she usually then wakes up all smiles. 23. Skin-to-skin contact is a simple and lovely way to soothe a crying baby. The mother's warmth releases a surge of the loving hormones oxytocin and prolactin to help comfort the baby. 24. I used to try and distract my crying tots by moving near a window and pointing out trees, dogs, anything. 25. When all else fails, try acting like a buffoon. Making a loud noise or waving my arms around, so the baby thinks, who's this idiot? 26. My daughter suffered from colic, so I had endless days of crying with her until my midwife suggested I rocked her from one hand to another, slowly, while she sat on my knee. It did the trick. 27. Slow dancing to songs with bass beats, like Bob Marley, works with my colicky baby. 28. Singing in a quiet, gentle voice often works a treat. 29 Putting on the hairdryer can send them to sleep. 30 Singing Close to You by the Carpenters. 31 I always sing to my son when he cries, he knows the songs and even now if I start singing one of them when he's upset he quickly calms down. 32 Moody jazz music played low while walking around the room or up and down the landing works for me. 33 Sing early Beatles songs. 34 Whispering in their ear or running the tap can snap a young baby out of a crying spell. 35 I put April in the pushchair and go into the garden when she's crying. 36 Gas was a problem for my daughter Leah. I tried sitting her in a warm bath and rubbing her tummy with some oil. If that did not help, I would lie her on her back and make a cycling motion with her legs. Shed fart and stop crying. 37 Share the load. Your baby's crying can quickly become very distressing and exhausting. One parent could pacify the baby while the other rests. Too much handling of a baby when they are in distress can make them even more fractious and unsettled. 38 Cooled cucumber batons helped my daughter Kira when she was crying from teething pains. They really soothed her gums. 39 Cuddles. I used a technique from Dr. Karp on the Richard Judy show. He showed how to swaddle them tightly, then gently rock them while making a loud shushing. It was a godsend. 40 Crying can be caused by frustration. I find distraction, such as dancing or making funny faces, is a great way of making them forget why they were crying in the first place. 41 If the crying's due to tiredness or temper, I take Charlie to a calm place and read her favorite book to her, or I stroke her hair and hold her hand to settle her. 42 Put your crying little one in the buggy and go to a cafe. The fresh air and movement really helped my babies calm down and go to sleep, and a drink cheered me up no end. 43 If your little one's really upset, use a drop of Roman chamomile oil with 10 ml organic sunflower oil. Massage her legs, arms and tummy gently to calm her down. 44 With my tot, the only thing that soothed him was patting his back and saying shush in his ear. I spent weeks of my life doing that. 45 Do some yoga breathing, counting slowly to 5 as you breathe in, then out for 5. As my chest rises and falls, my daughter often follows suit and calms right down as well. 46 When your baby's crying, take a step back and think about what may be upsetting him. If he's teething, you can feel the teeth coming through by running your finger over your baby's gums. Use a teething ring from the fridge, which is cooling. Also Sophie the giraffe is good for your little one to bite into. 47 I would never heard of Nelson's teething granules before a friend recommended them, but I liked the idea of a natural product. Reuben took to them and his crying calmed down. He became a lot less irritable. 48 I found a gadget called Baby Sound Spa at a trade show and rely on it when Theo's crying. The calm whooshing noise, which is meant to replicate the noise babies hear in the womb, helped him settle him when he cried at night. 49 Wellida's chamomilla granules 6 pounds and 95 pence for 15 grams, made from soothing chamomile root, are brilliant for crying, colicky babies, or those that are teething or just miserable. 50 Tummy tub baths are a fantastic way to calm a crying baby. The baths allow your baby to feel as though they are back in the womb, which is very comforting, soothing and relaxing.